they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 849 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everyone is always filter-free. Everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host. It's August 4th, 2025. This morning, I'm enjoying a fresh cup of light Peruvian from foodforestfarms.com because life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean stream air roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10. That's LOTS10, and the shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club for even more awesome perks. Today, we've got another pretty packed show. A new podcast launched. We'll talk about that and the website that goes with it. A new family member shows up unexpectedly, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Updates from the food forest out at DG and the other plants coming in, and some surprises that I'm happy to see. And some tool talk after dealing with some material delivery logistics, while still dealing with the delivery logistics up for our cabin build. So grab your coffee, smash the like button, and let's get started. Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Excuse me. Had a nice little break in the weather the last 4 days, I think. Actually had the windows open in the camper. Didn't need to blast the air on right at 7 o'clock in the morning when we take the dogs for a walk. We were able to turn it off when we got up in the morning and leave it off for quite a while. Open up the windows and get this place aired out a little bit. It was getting kind of stale in here with the two St. Bernards and myself and Corey in the camper, and never being able to open up the windows because it's just so humid and gets hot in the morning so quickly. It doesn't really cool off overnight. So it was nice to get temps down into the 60s, and highs the last few days were up into the 80s, and it was just really nice. It was nice to spend some time outside. Dogs got some longer walks, which needed to happen because they were getting quite wound up, and I think it's going back up this week. I think we're going back up into the lower to mid 90s, and then I saw it sneaking right back up, pushing to 100. So we will hopefully not get another long snap like we did this time. This past hot snap was like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. Talking to the locals, usually it comes in spurts, 3-4 days at a time, and this was 4 or 5 weeks, so a little longer than it should have been. So anyway, if you are listening on the podcast and the audio after the fact, if you consider sharing the podcast with somebody you know to help spread the word, and then also the podcast I'm going to talk about here in just a second. If you would check that out, and you'll definitely want to share that with some people that it is intended for. Other than that, if you're on YouTube, if you'd hit that like, share, and subscribe, that would be fantastic. Appreciate that. All right, let's talk about that podcast. I launched a new podcast. I've been working on it, actually thinking about it, working on it for quite a while. Kind of goes hand in hand with the Bitcoin recovery and preparedness kit that I talked about last week, that I launched, and that's still available over at Gumroad. I will have the link in the video description, or you'll be able to go check out the podcast. Good morning, Mike Homestead. Thanks for popping in. You'll be able to go over to the website that accompanies the new podcast, and it is featured on the main page there. But I've been thinking about this podcast for quite a while. Just one of those things that you got to just do it. It took some planning. It took some work up front, and that was definitely a key with this, is to be ahead of the game with it. And so currently I have the first 30 days all recorded. About 2 weeks worth already processed and drafted up and scheduled for release. But started a new podcast. It's called Bitcoin 30 Seconds. It's Bitcoin spelled out, 30, just the number 30, and seconds with an S, Bitcoin 30 seconds. The website that goes along with the podcast is bitcoin30seconds.com. Just like that, Bitcoin, all spelled out, 30 seconds with an S.com, bitcoin30seconds.com. It's definitely geared towards beginners, like super beginners, looking to learn a little bit, get exposed to Bitcoin terms, ideas, concepts, and it's 30 seconds or less, and it's going to come out daily. I started right on the 1st, I believe, August 1st. I think I uploaded the trailer to get everything set up a couple days before August, and then was able to get distribution out to Apple and Spotify and all the places. So like 4 episodes. I think the 4th episode came out today. I think it's right on track with the dates in August. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th episode today, and just really, really down to basics. Episode 1 was here. I can actually I'll pull it up here. You can find, like I said, you can find that on all the major podcast feeds, but you can also find, there's a player right on the website. So you can go to the website, bitcoin30seconds.com, and there's a player right at the top of the homepage with all the episodes. So episode one was really what is Bitcoin, just a basic explanation. Obviously under 30 seconds. It was 26 seconds long. What is a blockchain? Why is Bitcoin valuable? What is a Bitcoin wallet? These are the types of concepts that I'm going to cover. So, like I said, 30 days is all laid out, and I might progress with the ideas and concepts in time, like how advanced they get, maybe with the podcast as the podcast develops, as the time goes on, and then suggest that since it's easily bingeable at 30 seconds an episode, or under 30 seconds, I guess none of them have actually been 30 seconds, 26, 28, 26, 24. So it should have been Bitcoin under 30 seconds, but yeah, didn't really make sense. So that is all scheduled out. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I got August, I think pretty much all of August recorded, and half of August is uploaded and drafted out and scheduled. So see how it goes. If you have somebody that you have tried to talk to about Bitcoin, or has asked you about Bitcoin, or is new to it, or looking to learn about it, definitely share it along with them. I'm posting, currently trying to post video shorts of each episode, just with a stock video of a Bitcoin spinning around. I'm trying to post those on my social media under the Lots Project, on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and those every day. I don't know if that'll continue or not. That's it's a little bit more involved than doing the audio and getting the audio set up, but we'll see if I can keep up with that. It's a lot harder to pre-schedule the video posts and make them work. So definitely got the first 3. I'll try to get today up. I have the clips. I'm making them along with the audio, so hopefully I can keep up. But the audio will be there every day. So subscribe to it in your podcast players. It should be available in all the major ones, and since it's through Apple, it should be available on the value ones also. A website goes along with it. Built a little really basic website. Like I said, it's got the podcast player at the top where you can play all the episodes right in the web browser. There's a section on the Bitcoin preparedness kit, and a link to get that over on Gumroad. And then beginner Bitcoin resources is a link to the Lots Project page with the Bitcoin resources. It has the blog posts and products and trusted services and things like that. And then down at the bottom, it offers Bitcoin help, where I've always offered, I guess it would be considered consulting, where we'll just have a little quick chat, free 20 minute chat. to see where your current level is with Bitcoin, your understanding, what you've done, and then where you want to get to with it, what your goals are, and then answer a few quick questions here in the time remaining. And then if you want, I can set out a roadmap for you to get to where you want, maybe how to do it on your own, or offer guided hand with getting you to where your Bitcoin goals are with your understanding or purchasing or things you'd like to accomplish or learn. So that is there's a link to sign up for that, and then there's a page for each of those things right there on the site. So check it out. Bitcoin30seconds.com and Bitcoin 30 seconds in all the podcast players. That's again Bitcoin spelled out 30 seconds, SECONDS, Bitcoin 30 seconds. New podcast. And it's going all right. A couple people have checked it out. I don't really try to look at stats too much too early. It takes a little while to get into the search functions and things like that. It does seem to come straight up when I was checking that it was there. So excited for that, and I think you should go check it out and definitely share it with anyone that you know that is looking to get started. Speaking of Bitcoin, let's talk about some Bitcoin security. The Blockstream Jade is my go-to hardware wallet for keeping my sats safe and under my control. I've trusted the original Jade for a couple of years now, and now I have been using the Jade Plus. Same self-custody security, now with some slick new features, bigger screen, button controls, and even an optional metal case, which I really, really like the metal case. Is it worth the extra money? I don't know. It's visual. I just like looking at it. It's pretty cool. Would I upgrade it if they hadn't sent it out for me to check out? I don't know. But definitely worth the money to keep your Bitcoin safe, with the price going up, now sitting at 114,336. Did you buy the dip this weekend? Did you buy the dip on Friday down to 112? And you never know when it dips down if you're going to be able to ever buy at that price again. But was 112 over the weekend and has slowly creeped back up to 114. But whether you're just starting your Bitcoin journey and Bitcoin 30 seconds is right for you, or you're stepping up your security game, Jade's got your back. Head over to store.blockstream.com and use code the Lots Project for a discount at checkout. Not your keys, not your coins. Keep your keys safe with a Blockstream Jade or Jade Plus. You can click the link down in the video description or the show notes, and that will automatically apply the discount code at checkout. And I'll earn a little bit back from your purchase, and I appreciate that greatly. So that is the new podcast that is fired up. Now on to the new family member that I guess we have. I have to assume that. Hey Pip, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. Cheers and happy Monday to you, sir. So I guess we accumulated a new family member over the weekend. Trying to think back to when how the time laid out, but I think it was Saturday. Would have been Saturday morning. We went out and let's go back. For a while, we've had a couple of different felines hanging around the camper. For a while, there were two. There was a female that was living under the skirting of the camper. She was in and out. She would, we'd see her wandering around. She would sometimes be hanging out, and then we would take the dogs out. She would scurry under the camper, and she just kind of lived under there. And we were okay with it. Having a cat around doesn't hurt with keeping the rodents down and things like that. So she was under there for quite some time, smaller female. And then for a while, there was a male hanging around with her, and definitely caught them doing the deed. We were worried that we were going to end up with a bunch of kittens. Didn't really happen. Never saw any kittens from those two. And over the last, I don't know, a few weeks or more, the female's been gone. So we haven't really seen any cats around, the camper, which is okay with me. They really get the dogs wound up. They get them fired up when they go outside. They see them, especially Clyde Clyde likes to bark and freak out with anything. Humans, animals, or whatnot. So when a cat's sitting outside or running away, he kind of loses his shit. So not having the cat around was not a horrible thing. But Saturday morning we went outside, and lo and behold, there is another cat, and it was super tiny. We're talking like pound, 2 pounds, really tiny. Corey with more experience in the cat aging game than me, definitely. Thinking about 8 weeks. So definitely kitten. I was just hanging around outside. Kind of came over and started interacting with us out there. Corey was smitten with the kitten for sure right from the start. I kind of fell in love with it, but I wasn't really excited about having the kitten around. One, it's tough with the dogs. It really just, as soon as the dogs knew it was out there, because it was outside crying, it was outside at the door. Once it saw us go in the door of the camper, it sat outside the door and meowed and cried, which riles up the dogs inside. The dogs sit at the door and whine. They want to go out and get the cat. I don't know if they want to eat it, they want to play with it, whatever they want to do with it, but they're not really happy about it meowing outside the door. So that was first thing. Second thing is we can't bring it inside. Just not going to happen. And so it's just going to be outside. It's going to be outside cat. It's just going to be out there. Every time we go outside, the dogs are going to freak out. And I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know. Hopefully it just goes on its way. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it's going. I don't know whose it is. Did somebody lose it? And so we sat down for a bit. We talked about it, and we started thinking about options to get rid of this cat, to find it a home. It obviously wasn't going anywhere. The thing was around. My wife decided in her infinite wisdom to take mercy on it, and realized that it was pretty thin. It was, I think it was having a tough time finding some food, being a younger cat and not real experienced in hunting and things like that. So Corey decided that she was going to take a can of tuna, open it up, and offer it to the cat. Cat dug in, and it wasn't going to go anywhere after that. I like, everybody knows, as soon as you feed a stray, it is not going anywhere. So Corey took the can of tuna out. Cat dug in. She was able to pick it up, to check it out. We determined that it was a female cat. And the people that we were the only people that we knew that really could accommodate a new pet weren't up for an unspayed female. And obviously at 8 weeks and a stray kitten, it wasn't spayed. At least we don't think. It doesn't have its ear cut or anything like the Humane Society does when it takes care of that issue for strays. So we I was like, okay, well, I guess it's sticking around. We have to figure this thing out. We ran to the store and for some other stuff, and while we were there, we picked up a bag of kitten food. Came home, Corey watered it, and didn't water it like a plant. Gave it some water, gave it a bowl of water, gave it a bowl of cat food. Plowed through the can of tuna fish. Love that, and it was happy. I mean, the cat was nice. It would come over to you. It would it was kind of skittish, but definitely would warm up to you if you kind of stuck around and hung out for a little bit. would come over and warm up to you. So we gave it a bowl of food. It spent the night. It basically just climbed up on we got a pile of scrap wood and wood for projects on a table with a tarp over it, and basically jumped up on the tarp and hung out. We gave it a big old Amazon box that we had inside from one of the deliveries. We poked a bunch of holes in it, and we're going to use that to transport it if the person that we knew that could take a cat was interested. But then we just left it outside, and the cat was having fun in the cardboard box. So it spent the night outside. We were kind of wondering if it would wander off at night, if it would go home or go somewhere else. Sunday morning we woke up and it was still around, and so Corey fed it again. Gave it some love. She was going outside every so often and paying it some attention and thinking about names. I knew it was over. I know it's over when Corey starts thinking about names. That goes way back to when we were getting Norman, our second Saint Bernard. The people we were getting from had an oopsie pregnancy with another dog. And it had puppies on the same day as the litter of puppies that Norman was in. And they started sending Corey pictures of one of the dogs, and Corey just fell in love with the picture. And as soon as she was like, I think I want to name him Clyde, I knew it was over. I knew we were purchasing that animal. So as soon as Corey was telling me names of what she was going to call the new cat, I kind of knew that the cat was ours. That being said, if we went out and the cat was gone, I don't think it would be the end of the world. I don't think I think Corey would be a little sad, but I don't think she'd be devastated. It is going to be an outside cat. But when it stayed around, Corey named it. I think she landed on Dolly. For the little cat, the female cat that is out there. We're in Tennessee. Dolly Parton. It just makes sense. So I'm sure she won't call it Dolly. She's been calling it Mittens and all sorts of other pet names. She names our pets, but I'm not sure why, because we rarely call our pets the names that she names them. But anyway. Cat was still there on Sunday morning, and I didn't think that a cardboard box was going to be appropriate for the cat to stay in. And so I thought I would give it some shelter. Didn't really have the plans to do this on Sunday morning, but grabbed my coffee. I went outside and wrangled up a bunch of scrap wood, saw what size I had, saw what types of material I had, and sat down and came up with a plan for a little cat house. And threw that together yesterday morning. Put together a nice little cat house. You can see it on Corey's Facebook or in the Telegram group at t.me/lotschat. Head on over to the Telegram group and hang out with us. It's a great group of folks, and we have a good time over there. But anyway, I put together a little cat condo for the cat to use if it would want it. It's got it's not quite done yet. I still need to grab a piece of scrap metal from the property to cover the top to protect it a little bit more. But basically plywood and a little 2x4 frame. Put a little catio, a little cat patio on the front. And I guess I have to grab a handsaw. From our looking into cat houses and the proper way to make them, I guess you're supposed to give them 2 doors, so they're not trapped. If something comes in, a predator comes in, they are able to get out another way. So I still have to put another little door in it for her to escape if so she doesn't get trapped in there. But she's been in it. She jumped in it. She laid down in there for a few minutes and seemed to like it, but other than that, I haven't really seen her in it. Last night, she spent the night on the tarp again, up on the top of the wood pile, the building project wood pile, and just curled up on this tarp. She was there before I went to bed, and there again this morning when I got up and went outside. So I guess she's staying around. Corey saw the other female cat that I mentioned earlier. She was back this morning, and I suppose that's probably because Corey left a bowl of food out for the kitten. I'm guessing that we'll probably have every stray cat within a few miles hanging out if she decides to leave that bowl of food out. So I think she's going to do a feed the cat in the morning, feed the cat in the evening, and bring the food in overnight. So we might have two cats now. I don't know, but definitely the kitten. I don't see the kitten going anywhere the way it's getting treated, even though it's not allowed to come inside. And who knows? At some point, that thing, if we can get the dogs over it and we can get it to the vet and get it checked out and things like that, that's a lot of ifs for sure. Especially if you saw Clyde interact with it, but. Sometimes the cats pick you, I guess. Over in the Telegram group, we were talking about the cat distribution, and Mona said that the cat distribution knew that we're about to build our cabin, and that we probably needed some rodent control, and probably needed a cat out at the new property. So getting us accustomed to it and getting acquainted with it now, we will probably. If it sticks around, we'll take it out with us when we go out to the property. So if it's here when we end up moving out to the cabin, we will take it with us. If it goes off and it runs off, it's meant to be somewhere else. So anyway, built a little cat condo yesterday morning. That was a fun little project, all out of scrap wood. So that was a zero cost project, and hopefully it provides a nice little home for Miss Dolly or whoever ends up using it. So. That is our new family member. Just kind of showed up on Saturday and has stuck around. So we are definitely. Corey is definitely excited. She thinks that I'm in love with the thing. I don't know. She thought that video of me petting it was proof that it's my cat too. I think it was just kind of hanging out by my feet, and I was petting it. So. She's back there. You probably couldn't hear her, but she asked if I was petting it this morning. I did. I went out and said good morning to the cat. So it's Corey's cat. It's Corey's cat for sure. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's move on to before I hang myself too much. Let's move on to food forest update and property update. Oh, excuse me. Spent some time out in the food forest and kind of walking around the property in general. I was getting some stock footage for some TikToks and for some other videos I was making. So I was just observing, walking around the food forest, observing the plants that we installed last fall, observing the plants that came in since we installed the forest and food forest and opened up the canopy, changed that microclimates and changed the sun exposure and changed everything in that area of forest. Basically disturbed a bunch of soil, really shook things up and exposed it to some new conditions. So I've seen a lot of different new things come in there. So keeping an eye on all of that. Walking around the trails and just observing along the edges of the trails and seeing the different things that have come in that are populating and seeing their progress. Some things that I noticed as I was walking around, some sumac. Jamie Ping down at the end of the road's got a whole bunch of sumac that he harvests every year. I observed some of the same stuff. I'm not that familiar with it. I haven't looked into it too much, but it is the same brown berries that he's got that he is super excited about. I happened to spot some walking by, so that's on my list to dig into or talk to Jamie about. I know that he harvests them for making some tincture possibly or some tea. We don't have a whole lot. I just saw it as I was walking by on one of the trails. I'm sure if I explored more throughout the property, there would be more of it. But right at the moment, I just saw 4 or 5 little bunches of berries on one bush on the edge of the trail. So excited to mark that out and look into that more. Beyond that, beautyberry has just blown up. I knew we had a bunch of American beautyberry on the property, and if you don't know what that is, it's a purple berry that comes up probably. I guess it was be in the next month or so, into the end of August into September. It's a bush that is native to South or Deep South or Central South, Mid South, I guess. Zone. When I looked it up, I think it was zone 5 through 8, and it's a cheap viewers over on Twitch. Sweet. It's a native bush. It puts on this it's like a purplish berry in bunches along the stems. The berries are edible. They don't have a whole lot of taste, but they're high in vitamin C. They're not bad. I ate some once I verified that they were safe to eat. Had a few of them. They weren't horrible. But one thing I really like about the plant is the leaves can be used as a natural bug repellent. So you can take the leaves, you can crush them up, you can rub them on your skin, and it'll keep the mosquitoes and the ticks and things like that away. It can also be put into a carrier oil and added to, say, a salve or a natural tincture for pest repellent. So you can make yourself some natural bug spray out of it. So that was on the property. I've seen that ever since we got here. When you're walking through the woods and you notice it or you see it, it is definitely something that catches your eye with the bright purple berries when the berries are there. The berries are popping in right now. They're green. They come in bunches along the stems. And I knew it was there. I knew we had a bunch along the trails. I saw it last year along the trails. I saw it the first year we were on the property, just exploring. But what I didn't know was when we opened up the food forest, I didn't see any in the food forest area, the area that we carved out to install the food forest. I didn't see any there until this year. And it has definitely come in since we opened up the canopy, since we disturbed the soil. It's very prolific there. I see one huge bush that Carrie Brown and I marked off actually to hold on to because it is so beneficial. We marked that off, but as I'm exploring, I'm seeing it pop up in several different locations in the food forest, and it gave me an idea for this and another plant I'll talk about in a second. But since it is so prolific, since it is such a good plant to have around, both for pollinators, for the edible berries, and the natural uses with the bug repellent, the insect repellent, I'm going to throw some in some planters. I'm going to propagate it. It seems pretty easy to propagate from stem cuttings. So definitely going to try to start some of those, try to get them rooted, and then make up some cheap little wooden planters and sell the bushes for ornamentals, where you can put it on your deck or your porch and have that really nice pollinator plus an edible berry. And then you can use it and harvest it for insect repellent. So it'd be a solid. Looks like I'm frozen up there. Froze up for a second. It'll be solid. Hopefully, be a solid seller to have folks put on their porches and patios, decks, or other things. And then another plant that has really exploded, and I find more and more and more the more I look for it, is the purple passion flower vine and the fruit along with it. So the passion fruit is also referred to as maypop, and some other things depending on where you're from and what your parents told you they were. But anyway, tons of fruit, seeing tons and tons of fruit, both at our cabin builds location. I had seen one vine there when we first started looking at that location, we had built a trail through there and had seen the cool flower. If you've never seen the purple passion vine flower, it's a really cool looking flower. It's very intricate. It's only around for a few days to a week. But it's got all these cool purple petals that kind of flare out, and then very intricate inside. Definitely a pollinator attractor. I've caught more than one bee on them. Butterflies, bees, all love them. I saw one vine up by our cabin build site along a trail. Just the flower caught my eye, and I tried to keep an eye on it. Didn't really. As soon as the flower was gone, it was so hard to find. I wasn't really sure what the leaves looked like. It never produced fruit, so kind of forgot about it. I started seeing the flowers more and more now that we opened up the food forest. And I actually did an episode earlier about building a little tripod to make a trellis for one of these vine sets that I saw. It was right on the edge of the food forest. It was right next to a blueberry bush that we had put in, and the vine was wrapping itself around the blueberry bush. Now, I didn't want to pull the vine. I wanted to give it a chance. It had already set one fruit. It had a bunch of flowers on it. So I put together a quick little bushcraft tripod, strung some paracord on it, and trained the vine over onto the tripod. So that's coming in. That's worked its way up the tripod. It worked as it should. It's got at least one fruit on it. It had some other stuff growing around it to kind of protect it. But as I'm exploring more, it was almost silly because on the other side of where this tripod is, in an area, I guess it would be, it's undeveloped in the food forest. I cleared it out because I didn't know how much room we were going to need when we did our install last fall. And so it's all come in pretty thick, and with the exposure to the sun, the purple passion flower vine is in there, a ton of it, along with the beautyberry bush. In this whole area that we had opened up, that's the kind of stuff that filled in. So I'm not really upset about that with all those beneficial plants there. And I'm finding fruit like crazy. The fruit's developing. The fruit should be ripe in the next 2 months or so. Excited about trying that. Haven't really had my hands on the ripe fruit of that plant. But this fall I should have plenty of opportunity, because I've found probably a couple dozen at least in just observing, just kind of walking through where I could make my way through. And I know there's a ton more in there. And as they start to ripen up and change color, I'll be able to see them a lot easier. Right now, they really blend in with the green background of all the leaves. We also have at least half dozen to a dozen fruit up at our cabin site. It really has taken off where I opened up the canopy and where the sun has been able to get in, and it really likes full sun, I guess. So this is another plant that right now, from my research, right now I can either find sucker vines that are off the main vine, or even take cuttings and propagate those in pots. And then same with the beautyberry bush. I plan to hopefully strengthen those plants over the rest of the season, over the winter, let them go dormant, and in the spring hopefully sell the beautyberry bushes and the planters, but also planters with trellises. Sell the passion fruit vine, purple passion flower vine. It's a mouthful. But do the same style, cheap build, same planters, and the reason I'm kind of going this route is there's a couple people that sell these planters in the local area on Facebook. Market seems a little saturated for how many people are in the area, but nobody's selling them with plants in them. So I'm hoping to start the beautyberry bush. I'm hoping to start the purple passion flower with an added trellis on the planter, and sell them at a premium value add to the planters that are already available. So that's the plan. They're really coming in thick. That's exciting. Finding a lot of pokeweed. Know that's poisonous. Had a picture of that over on TikTok yesterday. So pokeweed, it puts on a berry. It's, I guess, the young plant. I'm not messing around with this. I don't need to try to figure out what the young plant is. And I guess if you take it and you boil it several times, changing the water in between times you boil it, you can theoretically boil out the toxins of this plant. It's supposed to be good for you. I don't need to mess around with that, but definitely toxic plant. Not going to eat it, but it sounds like the berries come in a deep red, purplish when they're ripe. It sounds like they've been used for a long time for dyes. So it might be a fun experiment, especially when we get out there. I don't know if it'll be this season, but we definitely have a lot of pokeweed on the property to mess around with harvesting some of those vines or some of those berries and check those out, possibly make some dyes or things like that. So we'll see about that. Somebody commented over on TikTok and said that they've used it as like a watercolor. They use the berries as a watercolor on some paper, and it started out as that purple, the dark red purplish color, and then as it dried, it went to a light green. So they were curious if that would happen with the dye. So interested with that too. Another plant that popped up in the food forest that was kind of exciting. Some mullein. I did broadcast a bunch of mullein seed, and mullein is a biannual cycle plant, so a 2-year cycle. It puts out a small plant, a ground plant, which I found some of them this year, really low, and then the second year, if you're familiar with mullein, the big stalk that comes up, definitely tall stalk with the cone on the top and the yellow flowers. That's the second year of the plant. Have 2 huge ones out in the food forest. Haven't been able to get to them to harvest the flowers. Just kind of letting them run their cycle, and maybe go to seed and broadcast their own seed naturally. We'll see how that plays out over in that area of the food forest. But mullein is a great plant to have on the property. Definitely a ton of uses with harvesting the leaves and then the flowers and drying them. So we will continue to have that. As far as the plants that we've installed in the food forest, the trees are doing all right. We had a infestation of Japanese beetles for a while. They did a pretty good number on the leaves of the trees. Not too bad. I don't think we'll lose any. I think it doesn't look the best. Definitely a shitload of leaves are all holy. Some of the comfrey plants that we have there got kind of hit pretty hard. But we picked up some of the Japanese beetle traps. I think you've probably seen those somewhere at some point or another. But the plastic bag that hangs down, and it uses their pheromone, their sex scent, stuck into the top of a little cross of plastic fins, and basically got a 3-pack of those, put them around the exterior of the food forest, and they started filling up right away. They've been up a couple of weeks. Last I checked, they were about a quarter full or more each. So a ton of beetles. And as I walked and inspected the trees and the comfrey plants, I'm not really seeing many. I'm not seeing many beetles on them at all. So that's exciting that the plants worked. Might try to think of some natural way to do that. I don't think that the Japanese beetle traps were too invasive. I don't think they're really going to hurt anything. I wasn't rubbing the stuff all over my fingers or anything, but they're just kind of off on their own, and they attract the beetles. So I've heard a little bit that it'll attract more beetles to the area, but if they end up in the traps, we'll see how that works. But it seems to have gotten them off the plants. As far as the trees, not a whole lot of production this year. I didn't expect it. We did have one peach that was coming in. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead. Thanks for popping in. we did have one peach that that developed on the one peach tree, and unfortunately, I was checking it out, and it had some goo on it that actually looked like pine tar or sap on the fruit, and I went to touch it to see if it was like gooey, if it was insect secretion or what it was, and the fruit just popped off in my hand. I really wasn't sure if it was ripe. I wasn't about to bite into it out there, and ended up dropping it, and it was just a goner. So the one peach that I've seen developed on the tree ended up going to, I guess, compost, going to the soil fertility, and I really am not sure what was on it. So it is what it is. It was pretty tiny to begin with. It wouldn't even have been a meal, but that one fell off. As far as the other trees, I haven't really seen a whole lot of production on any of them. Earlier in the season, I did, and I think possibly some animals got to them. We'll see. It is pretty wild out there, and there's ghost stretches with nobody out there, so definitely deer or other animals are in the area. I see deer quite often when I'm out there, and so that'll be an interesting venture to keep them out of it and figure that out. We also companion planted in a comfrey root with each of the trees after the fact. So that would have been this spring. Those plants are coming in really well, some better than others. Some got really, really beaten down by the Japanese beetles. Some were kind of in the shade and didn't really come in all that well. But a few of them, and actually 4 or 5 of them, are absolutely enormous. I usually let the comfrey plants go a whole year before even touching them. I just let them run their whole cycle for a year, and then start managing them the second year. But I'm thinking that a few of these plants, they're definitely ripe for chop and drop, especially at this time of the year, and plenty of time to put leaf matter back on before going to winter to suck the energy back into the roots. But fig trees are definitely loving the comfrey plants. Comfrey plant by the fig trees are absolutely huge, and the figs trees are taking off like crazy. So I don't know if that has anything to do with them being together, or if they were just happened to line up that the comfrey plant did really well in that location, and so are the fig trees. It is what it is, but definitely huge comfrey plant at the base of a couple of fig trees that we put in there. So it's kind of decision time if I want to go ahead and chop and drop those leaves for mulch. I mean, huge, probably 18 to 24-inch leaves, and definitely well established. So I don't think I'm going to hurt the plant by any means dropping those. And when I think about it, my theory on the year growth was more to let it get established for production kind of setting, for selling the roots, for running them in a production model, and not necessarily as just a plant in the food forest. So I've been going back and forth. We'll see. I might just chop and drop. I might thin them out at a minimum. I don't know if I'll end up dropping all the leaves down like I would normally do with a production plant. So we will see on that. The rest of the trees seem to be doing good. They're all putting on tons of growth. They're all having a lot of growth this year. The bushes are looking good. And like I said, we just put those in last fall, so I wasn't expecting a whole lot this year. Hopefully next year, with them having a full year of growth, a full year, and then a dormant cycle over the winter, I think we'll see some production next year. Our mushroom log area, haven't seen any mushrooms pop up yet. That was another thing that got done late in the fall, so I wasn't sure how that was going to go. This fall, when the weather cools down, I might try to force some flushing. Do some soaking and shocking, and see how that goes. But not too worried about it. They're just sitting there. They're going to do their thing when they do their thing. So that's a little bit of update on the food forest, and we'll talk about We'll talk about cabin build and news on that front here in a second. But I just want to tell you guys about the Nulu knife, NULU knife. Whether you're in the kitchen processing animals, chopping vegetables, or whatever you're doing, the Nulu knife is a total game changer for you. Designed originally to help folks with grip or strength issues, it turns out the thing can just be useful for anyone, really. Inspired by the classic Inuit ulu design, the Nulu knife has a rounded rocking blade. It also has a flat side for push cuts and cleaving and chopping. Corey really likes that feature of it for processing kale and cilantro and things like that as she's prepping food for the week. It's also got a solid grippy handle, and it's lightweight, powerful, and has stayed pretty sharp so far. You can grab yours and see what all the fuss is about down with my affiliate link in the video description or the audio description. That's Nulu Knives. Check one out today. Cabin. Cabin. Not a whole lot of progress on the cabin this week. It was another week of kind of waiting on others. Got a quote on the material for our next phase. So hanging the floor, putting in the floor, and framing out the walls. Got the quote for that. The place that we'll probably end up getting the material from, they can do delivery, but they can't unload. They can deliver the metal siding. When I order that, I'm looking at ordering it from the same place that we got the material for the roof structure, the posts, and the metal, and we will also get the metal for the siding. But they can't unload a load of lumber like that. So we'd be looking at 2x12s. We'd be looking at 2x4s. We'd be looking at 3/4 inch flooring. They can't unload that. They don't have the equipment. So been trying to kind of figure that out. Reached out to the guys that had the install crew that unloaded the equipment. Haven't heard back from him. See if he wanted to just get hired to do that in the evening some night. Meet the delivery guy out there. Other than that, I'll either have to figure out some equipment to unload, offload the material when they deliver it, or come up with a trailer to go pick the stuff up and also figure out how to unload it myself. So a little bit of logistical problem there that we're trying to figure out, and a lot of waiting on folks to get back to me. Seems like a common thing around here. So a lot of getting information, asking questions, and waiting. So still on hold there. I definitely are ready to order the material as soon as I can figure out how to get it to the site. And I think that's just going to be, I think this is going to be the one, this and the metal are going to be the issues. The 2x12s, we're going to end up getting them 12 foot long, so not really going to fit in the back of the truck. Anything else, I think I can do a load at a time in the back of the pickup. Even 10 footers, I can hang out the back. 12 is getting a little long to hang out the back of the tailgate. And I also need like 100 of them. So it would be several trips. And then the plywood, are going to be pushing 30 sheets of plywood or flooring or whatever, 4x8 sheets of 3/4. I can't fit that many in the back of the truck in one load. Beyond that, once we start getting material, windows, things like that, it gets a lot easier to transport them and get them in there. But this longer lumber is definitely going to be one to bring that in on a trailer and have some sort of equipment to unload it. So working on that, trying to figure all that out. So the logistics, as soon as we figure it out, we're going to get it ordered and go to town on that. But we did. Corey found something on Facebook Marketplace the other day that we went and picked up yesterday that should help with a lot of the work at the homestead or at the cabin build and on the property and all over. Somebody was moving. They're selling off all their stuff here in town, and they had a 24-inch extension ladder for sale. If you've ever bought ladders, you know they're kind of expensive, and the price was right. I think it was like $50. It's not in the best shape. It's definitely well used. I've done a lot of ladder inspections over the years in the jobs I've had. It's kind of one of the things that comes with being a maintenance guy or a tech. You have a ladder, you learn how to check it out. This isn't in the best shape. The slide part of it, so extension ladder, has two parts that extend out. The slide part looks really, really good. The other part has some bends, has a few cracks. Nothing serious enough that I wouldn't use it. I probably wouldn't pass inspection for an OSHA inspection on a job site or something like that. But I think it's serviceable. The slide part definitely could be taken out and used as a 12-foot or 10-foot, I guess, ladder. And I believe the extension part at the moment, I'll keep an eye on it, but the damage isn't that bad that it couldn't be used for some light work around the homestead, which I'll need to get up to the top of the roof build. Normal step ladder that we have is not going to reach as high as I need. So pick that up for $50. The price was right. If you 24 foot extension ladder, you're looking at $300 minimum. So $50, even if we end up just using it for half of it, is probably a steal at that. And if I can get a little bit of extra height out of it, should be good. So we went and picked up that. Amazon has some Amazon vendors are sending out some stuff that I'm excited about getting and testing out. I got somebody sending out a tool bag. Got somebody sending out a digital laser and physical tape measure combo. So it's both a traditional tape measure where the tape slides out, a self-locking tape measure, but it also has a digital feature in it where it displays the reading. So when you pull out the tape, it displays the reading. It also has a laser function in it. Pip says discount ladders half off. Yeah. It also has a laser read feature in it that will give you the measurement laser wise. So excited to test that out. Actually, I don't know if they're sending both or that or the other product that we talked about was a angle finder. Digital angle finder. Basically, it's a little square you set on something, and it gives you the angle relative to gravity, relative to the Earth. So it'll come in handy when we're setting solar panels and things like that. Basically, you set it on there, and it'll give you the angle. People use them a lot for finding the angles of blades and things on table saw or other tools and the like. So that we were talking about both that and the tape measure, and I think we landed on them sending both. Maybe they'll send one or the other. Tool bag, I'm excited to get something to keep my tools in. Right now, a lot of the stuff just sits around wherever I can find it. We don't have a whole lot of room to put things here at the camper, so the things end up where they're at, either out in the shed at the property or in the truck or under the camper or wherever I can find a spot. So any tool storage options are definitely welcome as we're accumulating tools to work on this cabin build. So excited about that. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff on Amazon. I got messages out to folks, and things are going well over there. So that is one way you can help support us and the show. And all of it is visiting thelotsproject.com and clicking the banner if you're going to be shopping on Amazon. That gets you in the tracking for my affiliate stuff. And if you buy anything on that purchase after clicking the link, I'll get a little credit at no additional cost to you. I don't see what you buy. I see what gets purchased. I don't see who purchases what. Just so I know what to focus on when making content. You can also visit the Amazon storefront that I have with all my videos, product review videos and things at amazon.com/shop/thelotsproject. Anytime I upload a product video to Amazon, they all get listed there also, as well as some of them get listed on the product page in the little videos underneath. So you check out those videos, product review blog posts over at thelotsproject.com. That is on my list to get caught up with some of those this week. Lacking making videos, and I haven't been getting the blog posts up. Those should be some popping up. That's my focus this week. Last week was the new podcast. The week before was the preparedness kit. So check those out. Bitcoin30seconds.com. If you know somebody that's looking to get into Bitcoin, if you just want to download them to help the stats, under 30 seconds every day. Just new beginner Bitcoin terms, concepts, ideas, and things like that. Should be definitely rolling through August, and we'll see where we go from there. You can check out the website at bitcoin30seconds.com, bitcoin30seconds with an S.com. Other than that, guys, if you want to hang out with us during the week in between the shows, Monday to Monday, you can hang out at in the Telegram group at t.me/lotschat, t.me/lotschat. We have a great bunch of people over there. Really enjoy the conversation. We bust balls. We talk about successes, failures, ask questions, and just relatively have a good time. Other than that, I'm going to wrap up, get out of here, and make it a great day. I got laundry to do today. Got a bunch of stuff on the docket. So hopefully you guys have a great week, and we will catch up with you next Monday.